Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're going to discuss a verse from the 7th canto, and this verse specifically describes the appearance of the Lord. 7th canto, chapter 8, text 17. How many of you have smartphones? So I'm sure you, the smart people, have the Bhagavatam in their smartphones. Okay. So 7, 8, 17. Satyam Vidatam Nija Bhritya Vashitam Vyaptem Cha Bhutesh Vakileshu Shatmanaham Adarshyatat adbhuta Rupam Udvahan Stambe Sabhyam Na Megam Na Anusham. Since we have limited time, so we'll just recite this verse once and proceed. Satyam Vidatam Nibritya Vashitam Vyaptem cha bhuteshu vakileshu chatmanaha Adarshate adbhuta rupam udvahan Stambe sabhayamna mrigamna manusham. Word meaning. Hare Krishna. The sound is that current deta hai. If you touch this mic, you get a current. Okay. Satyam, true. Vidatam, to prove. Nija Bhritya Vashitam, words of a servant. Vyaptem, the pervasion. Cha, and Bhuteshu, among the living entities and elements. Akileshu, all. Cha, also. Atmanaha, of himself. Adarshata, was seen. Ati, very. Adbhuta, wonderful. Rupam, form. Udvahan, taking. Sambe, in the pillar. Sabhayam, within the assembly. Na, not. Megam, an animal. Na, not. Manusham, a human being. Translation. To prove that the statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial. In other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a lion. Thus the Lord appeared in a wonderful form in the assembly hall. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. When Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj, "Where is your Lord? Is he present in this pillar?" Prahlad Maharaj fiercely replied, "Yes, my Lord is present everywhere." Therefore, to convince Hiranyakashipu that the statement of Prahlad Maharaj was mistakenly true, the Lord appeared from the pillar. The Lord appeared as half man, half lion, so that Hiranyakashipu could not understand whether the great giant was a lion or a human being. To substantiate Prahlad's statement, the Lord proved that his devotee, as declared in Bhagavad Gita, is never vanquished. Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashati. Prahlad Maharaj's demonic father had repeatedly threatened to kill Prahlad, but Prahlad was confident that he could not be killed since he was protected by the Supreme Lord. By appearing from the pillar, the Lord encouraged his devotee, saying in effect, "Don't worry, I am present here." By manifesting his form in Narsingh, the Lord also preserved the truth of Brahma's promise that Hiranyakashipu was not to be killed by any animal or any man. The Lord appeared in that form. The Lord appeared in a form that could not be said to be fully a man or a lion. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyanam Janasakya Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Adnamya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Eyeball. Satyam vidatham ija bhritya basitam yapinja bhuteshu kileshu chatmanaha adasyatat adbhuta rupa mudvahan sambe sabayam namrigam namanusha. So, this was, I'm scared to touch it. I got a shock once or twice. So this verse describes the appearance of the Lord in the form of Lord Narsingh. Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame devyam. My appearance is both, my appearance and disappearance is both completely transcendental. So why did the Lord have to take the form of Narsingh? This is very nicely explained. Lord Narsingh is the form of the Lord, and the story is very nicely described in the 3rd canto and again in the 7th canto. Prahlad Maharaj is a great devotee of the Lord, and the Lord appeared to protect his devotee Prahlad. The sons of Brahma, the Kumaras, had entered the Vaikuntha planets, and when they entered the Vaikuntha planets, they derived such great pleasure, and they were just eager to see the Lord, and they went through the first 6 gates without being stopped. And when they were entering the 7th gate, The doorkeepers of the Lord said, "Hey, you naked children, you can't go in." Just like when you have classes and some children are making noise, you have them go outside. But these sons of Brahma Kumaras were naked. So that's not the most auspicious way to go and see the Lord. So Jai and Vijay, doorkeepers, stopped the Kumaras from entering the seventh gate, which greatly angered the Kumaras. They were getting such great pleasure. They said, "You all are unfit to stay here." And they proceeded to curse the doorkeepers, stating that they're totally unfit to stay here. Now, when they were being cursed, Jai Vijay had only one request. What was that? Curse us in any condition, but put us in a condition where we can remember the Lord constantly. For a devotee, the real punishment is when he forgets the Lord, when he's put in a position where he can't remember the Lord. So the doorkeepers had a choice, either to be a favorable devotee, and devotees for which they would have to take birth 7 times, or play the role of being enemy, in which they would constantly be absorbed in thinking of the Lord, and they would have to take 3 births. And what did Jai Vijay say? Give us 3 births so we can very fast come back to our service in the other planets. And so Jai Vijay took 3 births, the first of which was Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. The Lord, when he heard this conversation that was going on, he came out and said, "What's happening?" And the Kumaras, when they saw how closely, intimately the Lord was talking to his doorkeepers, they concluded, maybe we made a mistake. How could we curse? These 2 doorkeepers are so close to the Lord. Maybe we should withdraw the curse. We made a mistake. And the Lord responded by saying, "No, it was my desire that you curse them." Because the Lord wanted to appear, and he wanted his own devotees to appear as what? As demons also. So Jai Vijay were cursed to take 3 births, and first was Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, who were born from the womb of Diti. So Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were the 2 sons. Hiranyaksha was killed by the Lord in his Vara incarnation. And as a result, Hiranyakashipu became very, very angry and a bitter enemy of who? Lord Vishnu. He became a bitter enemy and and his constant meditation was how can I kill him? How can I kill Vishnu? So Hiranyakashipu sent his representatives to destroy the Brahmanical culture, destroy the houses of the Brahmanas, stop all types of offerings. And he started practicing extreme austerity. If you meditate and read the austerity that Hiranyakashipu performed, it's almost inconceivable. We observe Niranjan Ekadasi for one day a year. We think we've done a great job. But in Hiranyakashipu, he fasted for water. For how long? 100 celestial years. 100 celestial years. He didn't take one drop of water. 6 months of our early years is equal to 12 hours of the celestial planet. So for 100 celestial years, Hiranyakashipu did not take a drop of water. Not a drop. And he was standing on his toes with his hands raised to the sky, standing on his toes. For how long? 100 celestial years. I mean, even if you were to ask Ramdev, the yoga expert, to stand on his toes, I think maximum he could stand on his toes would probably be half an hour or 1 hour the most. But Hiranyakashipu stood on his toes with his hands raised toward the sky for 100 celestial years. He didn't take a drop of water. There was fire emanating from his hair. I mean, this is not an ordinary performance. And the demigods had become very uncomfortable also with all his austerities. And the demigods proceeded to Lord Brahma. As you know, Hiranyakashipu is performing great austerities, and his real goal appears to be that he wants to occupy your position. We don't want that to happen. So Brahma, at the request of the demigods, proceeded to search for the location where Hiranyakashipu was performing his austerities. And Hiranyakashipu, not only was he performing extreme austerities, his whole body was being eaten by ants. His whole body was completely eaten by ants. And it had virtually become like an anthill. You see a hill sometimes, the ants going up and down, up and down. The ants were going up and down his body, and even Lord Brahma and the demigods who were standing right next to Hiranyakashipu could not recognize that Hiranyakashipu was right next to them. Then finally Brahma detected, there's a Hiranyakashipu. The whole body is being eaten by ants. How is he able to tolerate all this? And then Brahma mercifully, from his kamandalu that he was carrying, sprinkled water. And when he sprinkled water on Hiranyakashipu's body, which at that time was nothing but bones, because his flesh was eaten by the ants, he restored his body to become a young, handsome body. The body was so strong, you could even tolerate a thunderbolt. So Brahma told Hiranyakashipu, so why are you performing these austerities? Why? Why do you have to perform all these austerities? So when Hiranyakashipu explained, Brahma said, well, I am not that. So Hiranyakashipu then extracted various promises, various assurances. Please give me the benediction that I will not die in day or night. I will not be killed by any being created by you, including animals, because he remembered that his brother was killed by the Lord, who appeared as Lord Vara. I will not be killed in the sky or land or water, neither in the day or night. So he got every type of assurance that he could conceive of. And Brahma gave him all these benedictions. And Prabhupada was giving a lecture on this word, on the appearance of Lord Narsingh in Los Angeles. And Prabhupada said, quoting all the requests that Hiranyakashipu extracted from Lord Brahma, Prabhupada said jokingly, after killing Hiranyakashipu, the Lord told Brahma, don't give such benedictions in future. It made my job very difficult. So he obtained all these different promises. So Hiranyakashipu started terrorizing everyone. He got all these benedictions. And the demigods were very, very unhappy. He started terrorizing everyone. And the demigods, when they approached Brahma said, don't worry, once he offends his devotee, Prahlad, he will be annihilated. So Hiranyakashipu continued to terrorize and everyone. While Hiranyakashipu was performing austerities in Mandara Hill, Prahlad was in his mother's womb. And Prahlad's and the demigods, they knew that Hiranyakashipu's wife is pregnant. And as they often say, like father, like son. It's not always true, but it's a general statement. So the demigods were concerned that the child in the womb of this lady would be another demon who will terrorize everyone. So we should kill the child as soon as he is born. That was their intention. So in then the demigods were dragging Prahlad's mother, and now the Muni appeared on the scene and said, why are you dragging this innocent lady? And the demigod said, don't you know who she is? She is Mrs. Hiranyakashipu. And the child in her womb is another demon. So now the Muni showed them, the child in the womb is not going to be a demon. He is going to be a great devotee of the Lord. and nobody will be able to annihilate or touch this boy. So Narada Muni's association, or Narada Muni's assurance, Prahlad's mother was released and provided shelter. Where? In Narada Muni's ashram. So Prahlad had a great fortune of receiving spiritual instruction when he was in the womb of his mother. So Prahlad had obtained spiritual knowledge when he was in the womb of his mother. But Prahlad had 3 brothers. There were 4 brothers in total. Prahlad was the most famous of all. Prahlad is remembered by the devotees for various reasons. The main reason is that he was an unalloyed devotee of the Lord. He was determined to serve the Lord. His constant meditation was the Lord. His constant meditation was Krishna consciousness. Prahlad was an unalloyed devotee. In mature life, we have heroes, isn't it? Sports star, movie star, politicians. These are our Kali Yuga demigods. In Kali Yuga, we worship sports stars, pop stars, movie stars. And devotees worship Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, etc. So Prahlad had obtained the spiritual knowledge when he was in the womb of his mother. And Hiranyakashipu could not understand where is Prahlad getting all this knowledge from. In fact, one day, Hiranyakashipu called Sandanamarka. Sandanamarka were the sons of Shukacharya, and they were Prahlad's teachers. Prahlad was assigned to these 2 teachers, and Hiranyakashipu called the teachers and said, "You are not doing a good job. It appears that the Vaishnavas are coming in disguise and brainwashing my son, and you are not being smart enough in stopping that." Sandanamarka said, "Sir, don't blame us. We are Brahmanas. We have mystified ourselves. Where is getting this knowledge from? And where was he getting the knowledge from?" But they said, "But don't worry, we'll brainwash him." Don't worry. So Sandanamarka were training up Prahlad in diplomacy and the art of material management. After all, Prahlad was the son of a king. So the father naturally wanted the son to be trained up, how to be a good ruler. And that includes learning the science of friends and enemies. You're my friend, you're my enemy. That's how the material world operates, isn't it? Especially in India, you see the political parties. Today someone's your friend, tomorrow becomes your enemy. But in Prahlad, when he was being taught this education, he said, "I am not interested in this knowledge. Friends and enemies, everyone is my friend. No one is my enemy." In 3rd canto, you read about the qualities of a sadhu. And one of the qualities of a sadhu is Sudha Sarva Dhainam. A devotee of the Lord is everybody's friend. Even if somebody is your critic, you are still his friend. So Prahlad, he was being trained there by Sandanamarka in diplomacy, he said, I'm not interested in all this. To me, everyone is my friend. So one day, Prahlad returned from his school. Sandamarka had assured Hiranyakashipu, now you can test your son. He will say exactly what you want to hear. He's completely brainwashed. So Prahlad's mother gave him a bath and dressed him up, brought him to the father. The father placed his hand on his head and very lovingly said, of all the subjects that you have learned in school, which topic do you find most important? So the father expected the son will say, you're supreme, which is what he really wanted to hear. He could never tolerate Vishnu being the supreme. Prahlad instead chanted that famous verse that describes the ninefold process of devotional service, which is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Swarna Pada Sevanam Ashram Vandam Dasan Sakya Mahatma Niranjan. So when Hiranyakashipu heard this, he could not tolerate it. He threw his son off his lap. So Hiranyakashipu could not tolerate Prahlad's attachment to Vishnu. He was constantly meditating, how can Vishnu be killed? And he tried several ways how this boy could be annihilated. Sometimes we wonder, why was Hiranyakashipu designed to kill his son? The reason was very simple. He could not tolerate that his son was attached to Vishnu. So what did Hiranyakashipu try? He had elephants walk over him. Have any of you ever had an elephant walk over you? The elephants walk over him and nothing happened. Prahlad was fed poison and Krishna took the poison and drank it. So when it came to Prahlad, there was no poison inside. He had huge stones thrown on Prahlad from all four directions. They were throwing stones. Still he did not die. And they had powerful snakes surrounding Prahlad. And those snakes could not cause Prahlad any harm. They had Prahlad thrown from mountain tops. I'm sure if someone throws you from the first floor of this building, you probably land on the ground with a fractured hand or leg. But Prahlad was thrown from mountain tops and nothing happened to him. He was thrown in the ocean. And he was thrown in the ocean, and before Prahlad could touch the ocean water, Krishna caught him and saved him. So Prahlad Hiranyakashipu tried everything that he could. He tried virtually every device that he could think of. But what happened? Nothing happened to Prahlad. Kaunteya parijanahi name bhakta pranashati. Arjuna, declare to the world, my devotee will ever perish. If Krishna wanted, he could have declared it himself. My devotee will never perish, okay? But Krishna thought, better his devotee says that. Let his devotee say, the devotee of the Lord is always protected. Just like these that you see, sports stars, movie stars, endorsing a product. The manufacturer can easily say, this is a nice product, buy it. But they instead will pay $1 million of sports star or movie star to endorse it. So they probably got this idea from Krishna. But Krishna could have declared it himself, my devotee will never perish. But Krishna said, Arjuna, you declare to the world, my devotee will never perish. When Prahlad was in the womb of his mother, he got the transcendental philosophy. The philosophy of Krishna consciousness, Prahlad had learned when he was in the womb of his mother. And Kamar Achar Pragyo Dharmam Bhagavatam Hiya. Prahlad Maharaj said, cultivate spiritual knowledge from a young age of 5 years old. Why? Someone may question, why do I have to cultivate spiritual knowledge from the age of 5? Why can't I do it later? And that is explained. The human life is Durlabha Manasam Jalma. Human life is very, very rare. So cultivate this knowledge from a young age. So Prahlad would explain this knowledge to his teachers. Prahlad explained this philosophy. Na de vidu svarta gate vishnu. People do not know how real happiness can be found. People think that we can find material happiness, that we can find happiness by material means. But Prahlad Maharaj explains, it doesn't matter how much you endeavor materially, how much success you have materially, you can never really be happy. Prahlad's father Hiranyakashipu, he had all the facilities of sense enjoyment. He had all the opulences you could virtually dream of. But still he was unhappy. He was always unhappy. He was always frustrated. So we must understand, if we want spiritual happiness, if we want real happiness, there is only one path. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasojati Nakankshati. That is the transcendental path. So Prahlad would preach to his friends. Prahlad was a preacher. He did not hesitate about being attacked by his father. Whenever he would get a chance, he would preach. In his childhood, he didn't get attracted to toys or sports. His attraction was only pleasing the Lord. Now Hiranyakashipu tried his best to get his son detached from his attachment to the Lord. And Sandanamarka reported to Hiranyakashipu, we have some bad news for you, sir. And Hiranyakashipu said, bad news? What's that? In spite of our best efforts, your son is still too attached to Vishnu. We have failed to distract him. But not only that, all the classmates in the class, they have also become devotees. Not only so, now the population of Suras is increasing. What should we do? We have We have failed in our mission. And then Hiranyakashipu, when he was presented with this information, the whole class has become devotees, and all of Prahlad's friends have also become devotees. Hiranyakashipu resolved, now I must kill this child. So in frustration, Hiranyakashipu asked his son, where are you getting all your strength from? Shakti. Where are you getting this Shakti? You are constantly defying me. You defied all my orders. I've endeavored so hard to kill you, but you're still alive. Where are you getting your shelter from? Where are you getting your strength from? And Prahlad said, I'm getting my Shakti from the same place that you're getting your Shakti. Same place. Where is that somebody? You say that your God is all pervasive. Where does your God reside? And what does Hiranyakashipu Prahlad say? My God resides everywhere. So Hiranyakashipu pulled a sword out and said, does he reside on the ceiling? Yes. Does he reside on the wall there? Yes. Does he reside in that pillar there? Yes. Does he reside in that pillar there? Yes. And what did Hiranyakashipu conclude? He said, now I've captured him. Now I know where he is. And when he swung his sword against the pillar, from inside that pillar came this form, came this inconceivable form of half man, half lion. It made such a heavy noise. It made such a heavy noise that all the demigods, they got worried. Looks like everything is going to crash. And Hiranyakashipu saw a form of the Lord that he had never seen. And the demigods saw the form of the Lord that they had never seen. And for a moment, in the beginning, when he saw this form of the Lord, Hiranyakashipu, I've never seen this form. Then he concluded, he was intelligent. It must be Lord Vishnu incarnating in this form. So in the verse we read, it described how the Lord appeared as Lord Narsingh. So when the Lord appeared as Narsingh, there was when the Lord appeared as Narsingh, they had a fight, like you see in the movies. The hero fights the villain. Hopefully you don't see movies anymore. Anyway, so they had a fight, and many times Hiranyakashipu succeeded in getting out of the trap. And when he would come out, the demigods would say, it looks like the demigods. It looks like Hiranyakashipu might defeat the Lord. But then, in the end, who was victorious? Lord Narsingh. Lord Narsingh finally killed the demon. And everyone was so scared to go near the Lord. Everyone was scared. All the demigods, etc. Finally Brahma told Prahlad, go and pacify the Lord. And Prahlad went and placed a garland on the neck of the Lord, and the Lord was pacified. So the demigods offered their prayers to the Supreme Lord, and the Lord offered Prahlad any benediction that you may desire. Prahlad, you've gone through so many difficulties for me. Ask me for any benediction that you may desire. And Prahlad said, my dear Lord, I don't want any benediction from you. A servant who wants something in return from the Lord is not a true servant. He's a businessman. And a master who trains his followers with the purpose of obtaining some benefit is not a true master. But if you want to give me a benediction, give me the benediction that I may be bereft of all material desires. He said, if you want to give me a benediction, give me the benediction and I may be bereft of all material desires. I may be able to be bereft of all my lusty desires. And then Prahlad made a small request. Even though my father was a demon, I have one request, that you may please bless him, take him back to Godhead. To which the Lord replied, Prahlad, you don't have to ask this. He automatically liberated, and he liberated to 21 generation of his ancestors. So today, the auspicious day, the Lord Narsingh appeared on the planet. Devotees prayed to Lord Narsingh to be relieved of material impediments. Prabhupada, when he first started the movement in America, he didn't give us the Narsingh mantra. But then, as there were challenges to Prabhupada's health and the movement, then he introduced the Narsingh mantra. The devotees chant the Narsingh mantra in order to be relieved of all material impediments. So God is inconceivable. God can appear in any form He wants. And why does the Lord appear? To protect His devotees. Prabhupada said, Hiranyakashipu could have been annihilated through any agency, but the Lord appeared to protect His devotee Prahlad. So Prahlad is one of our spiritual heroes. You see how Prahlad was determined to serve the Lord. You see how Prahlad underwent great challenges, and he was not scared, because he was protected by the Lord. And we can also see how Prahlad was constantly in the preaching mood. Prahlad Maharaj said, my dear Lord, when I see these ritualists who are trying to convert a position of distress to a position of comfort, my heart feels very sorry. So we should cultivate the mood of Prahlad Maharaj, preach to as many people as we can, give this transcendental knowledge, because only this transcendental knowledge is capable of saving people from the cycle of both in that. Prahlad Maharaj ki, Srikade Bhagwan ki, Gaur Prabhupada, Hare Krishna.